Aljamain, tell us how you ended up here, man. You know, obviously you're on the prelims, so they don't normally take prelim fighters out here.
I know, right?
And you showed up.
It's crazy. I actually hit up Gavin and I told him I'm going to crash the open workouts for this one, and I just want to know exactly where it's at, and I'm going to show up and start doing my own workout. And I'm here. They actually invited me. They said, all right, if you want to work out, we'll be more than happy to have you here.
Tell me about it. I mean, not a lot of fighters would take that initiative to do that. Why is that something that you decided to do? I
feel like after this fight, I'm going to be at a different level. So I want to start getting more comfortable with the cameras in my face and start preparing myself for doing all this kind of media stuff and just being more comfortable underneath the camera and things like that. So I think doing something like this will help me, and I think it's fun. It's something that I think a lot of people don't enjoy as much as they should. And man, you can only fight for so long, so I just want to be in the moment, enjoy my time here, and take advantage of every single second I can get.
I think most people believe you haven't gotten the attention you deserve thus far. Can you put your finger on why that is or been able to identify it?
I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I think it's going to stop after this fight. I think them having me here alone says a lot, so I think after this fight, good things are going to happen for me. I just got to go out there and get my hand raised and do it in a spectacular fashion.
Despite the fact that, this is a top-ranked fight between you and Johnny Eduardo, you guys are on the undercard and relatively low down. How do you feel about that? Don't you feel like you deserve a place on the main card?
I definitely do feel like I should be on the main card, but at the end of the day, a fight's a fight. You got to go out there and you got to win, right? So for me, I'm looking at this like I am the main event. I am the co-main event. So it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, I know people are going to want to watch me fight, and I know people are out there, they want to watch me fight. People have been very vocal to me on social media and stuff like that, so I just think people are going to... I'm the fight that's not getting as much attention from the UFC per se in terms of where I am placed on the card. Well, a lot of people want to see me fight, so I think them taking notice to that, and them taking notice that people wanted me to come to the open workouts is something it is what it is at the end of the day. I just got to go out there and win, and that's what I plan on doing. I'm going to go out there and choke this guy out.
You made a point of talking about this being the last fight on your contract.
Yeah.
Have there been any conversations with the UFC about re-upping? Or are you sort of in that position where you want to get through this and really explore your options?
One time, from what I understand, a couple weeks ago, I guess they reached out to my management team, and they spoke about a new contract. But man, I feel like I have a lot more in terms of my value, and I want more for myself. So I'm just gonna say that I want more for myself. I think that's the best way to put it. I think a lot of these guys need to want more for themselves. And I came into the sport to make a ton of money, to make a name for myself, leave a legacy, and hopefully retire undefeated and win a UFC gold on my way out.
I think that's an example other fighters can follow. I mean, it's been high profile with Vincent Henderson, now you. The guys should fight out their contracts and just see what they're worth versus just accepting whatever the UFC offers.
Yeah, but you have to do it in such a way where it's kind of strategic. It's not kind of just a random thing where you're just thinking, oh, just because I fought out my last fight on my contract, the UFC is just going to automatically want me back and automatically want to pay me more. It doesn't really work like that. I think Conor McGregor is a big example of that when it comes to talking about the numbers and things like that. So I look at that. I know people want to watch me fight. I might not have the biggest following, but I know a lot of people know who I am. I know I made a lot of noise. I haven't fought as frequently, and I think that's why I don't have the following I have yet. And I know once I do fight a little bit more, I think the numbers are going to speak for itself, and I think that's what it is. So I think guys need to just they need to understand their worth, and I think at the end of the day, we are the product, So we are the product. People want to see us fight, whether you're a no-name. Eventually, a champion was a no-name at one point, and in order to become a champion, you got to be a no-name and work your way up through the ranks, prelims, and then work your way up to the main card, and hopefully work yourself up to a title fight, become the champ.
When you talk about not being able to fight as frequently as you'd like, how do you think you need to go about changing that? What do you do as a fighter to change that routine that's been happening?
For me, I'm in a different situation because it's a little weird. My weight class is pretty thin, so I don't have a lot of guys in my weight class to fight, especially the way I kind of went about my career. I was supposed to fight Manny Gambier, that fight fell out. And then if I fought Manny Gambier and I beat him, granted everything went well, then I would have been in a different plateau in my career. I wouldn't have fought Mizugaki, who was ranked 6th at the time. So now you got to get two unranked guys fighting. I beat him, now there's more options for me to fight. So I do think about it from the UFC standpoint and try to make things make sense in my head. And if I didn't fight Mizugaki so early, maybe I have a lot more fights. But then I go from unranked to fighting the number 6 ranked guy in the world, finish him the way I did. Then it kind of puts me in this weird void where there's not too many guys I can fight at this point. I can't fight guys who are ranked underneath me, unranked and things like that, because now they need more contenders. They got the title guys, the champions are hurt and things like that, and top 5 was hurt at one point. So I just think for me it was just a weird scenario. So at this point I think I have more options. Rafael Sunsau's coming back, Michael McDonald is back. We have Jimmy Rivera who's just coming up the ranks, and Thomas Almeida. I think eventually I'm going to bump heads with all those guys. So I'm excited, man. This bantamweight division I think is one of the most exciting divisions in the entire UFC roster, and I can't wait for everybody to see what we're all about.
I had heard something about you going to featherweight, so that's really not happening then. Doesn't sound like it.
I would definitely be down to go to featherweight. If it makes sense, if it's not a big behemoth like a guy as big as McGregor or something like that, I could definitely go up there and hang with those guys. I feel like I'm just as strong. And when I'm at 45, I feel a lot stronger, and I can put on a little bit of size fairly quickly.
You see parallels between yourself and Chris and sort of the climb and not getting some recognition as you were piling up big wins and flying under the radar, and how do you just sort of draw on what he's experienced to see what he's at now? Keep that for yourself going forward.
I think we have a very similar story. He was the unknown guy, and he was finishing guys the same way I'm doing, finishing guys. And I think the champions, things just kind of the stars align for Chris, and I think the stars may do the same thing for me and align for me, where the number 1 contenders end up getting hurt, and then Chris becomes the guy to fill in the spot. And I think I can have the same story where someone gets hurt, I'm the next guy to jump in, and then I can be the guy who fills in for a title slot and shock the world. That's what I want to do. I want to shock the world and prove people that I can stand up and I can strike and I can grapple and I can go with the best of them, no matter who it is in front of me.
Thanks, guys.